What's up, beauties? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm creating another fall makeup tutorial. I know I've been hitting you guys back to back with different makeup tutorials surrounded by fall, but honestly it's because this season is my favorite season to create and do makeup. It's I feel like the season where you can create the most, whether it be bold and smoky or nice and subtle and just bright. You can do whatever you want. In today's video, I wanted to focus on using some new products, not a full face, just a couple here and there. One of them being the Dose of Colors Sassy Sienna palette. If you guys seen my BoxyCharm video, then you know I purchased this palette as an add-on with my BoxyCharm subscription. So I got this in the mail and I did tell you guys I was going to do a separate video for it. So today is that day. As far as the new products go, I did touch on my thoughts as it relates to the product as I used it. So you guys will hear how I feel about each and everything that is new that I used. There were some hits, there were some misses, but you're just gonna have to stay tuned to find out. So before we get into today's video, please make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification on so you can be notified every single time I upload, which is every Wednesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, let's just jump right into the video so you guys can get a closer look at how I created this here fall makeup look. So I'm just gonna jump right into things and start by priming my face. I am gonna use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer because the foundation that we're using today is supposed to be like a dupe or comparison to a foundation that I recently used, which is the NARS Natural Radiant foundation. And I really love that, and this is what I do when I use that foundation. So I just wanted to do the same thing that I do as far as priming for that foundation with this one, which you guys will see here in a minute. I'm also going to just use a little bit of my Wet n Wild translucent powder to set all of this down. You guys already know I like to set my primer, well, the Hydro Grip Primer I like to set. Any other primer I don't set. This is the only one. By the time this video goes up, my everyday makeup routine fall edition should be live. So if you guys haven't seen that, definitely make sure you check that one out. It'll be at the end. And I'll also link it up in the cards as well for you all. Whoa, I think I put too much powder. Now for the fun part, for foundation, I'm going to be using the NYX Born to Glow. This is a newer foundation of theirs. It says Naturally Radiant Foundation, which is the same thing that the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation says as well. So I did pick up the shade Golden. Hopefully it matches me. I did a quick swatch in store. Not to my face or anything. I just kind of analyzed the shade on my hand, to be honest. So I'm hoping that this works out. And from what I could tell, this was the darkest shade that they had at my Ulta, but I know that the line extends further than this. So just like the NARS foundation, I am just gonna dot this all over my face. I'll take my sponge to blend everything in. I will say, with just dotting it on my face, I do feel like the texture of this foundation isn't super thick. It feels very lightweight on my finger. So let's just see how well it covers. I'm gonna be using this sponge right here. I got this from Marshalls or TJ Maxx. No, I got it from Marshalls. And it just looked really interesting, and it is super soft. So let's see how this blends out. Definitely lightweight. I cannot feel this on my skin at all. It's actually giving a nice semi-matte kind of finish. It's not super glowy or dewy, but it definitely looks very skin-like and natural. I love the color choice, shade choice I should say, that I selected. It looks super pretty. I actually really like this foundation. This might be my new favorite, to be honest. Just first impressions alone. This looks very skin-like. Very skin-like. Wow. This sponge isn't the best. You can tell. It's absorbing a lot of the product. I'm gonna add just a little bit more in some areas. just to see if I can build this up a little bit. Not too much, just in certain areas. Definitely have enough coverage on my forehead. I'm truly loving the coverage on this foundation. I feel like it's super skin-like, definitely very natural. You do get a little radiance from it, but it's not overpowering and it's not too much, if you know what I mean. Like, you would think being oily you wouldn't be able to use this product, but just off of first impressions, I feel like it's good for any skin type really. Whether you're dry or oily, I think it'll like balance itself out and it'll be perfect for you because it's not super oily or dewy or anything like that. It's, like I said, very, very natural and skin-like and not too glowy. So I'm loving it. So I pulled out two different concealers today. I pulled out the NARS and the L'Oreal. I'm not sure which one I want to use. Just do a little swatcheroo on my hand just to kind of see which one I want to use. I don't really use the L'Oreal one that often, but it's definitely brightening compared to the NARS. So I'll just use a little bit of the L'Oreal. Let's do that. Since I don't use it that often, I'm just gonna put a little bit. I'm not going to use too much of this. So I'm going to continue on with the same sponge and just use this to blend out the concealer. It's definitely brighter than what I go for normally, but I feel like this concealer is a perfect match to the foundation. Gives the right level of brightness, and I'm glad I didn't use too much of it because sometimes I could be like super heavy-handed when putting concealer like underneath my eyes and all of that. I used to be super heavy-handed. Well, I started off like lightweight, not putting too much, then I just like got comfortable and started putting a lot of concealer, but you really don't need that much. So to set my under eyes and basically my T-zone, I'm going to use the Kat Von D Lock-It Translucent Powder. And the reason why I'm using this, first of all, it's really, really tiny. I think I got this from Sephora with like my points or something. I'm pretty sure it was my points, or maybe it was like my birthday gift. One or the other, but since I've never used Kat Von D powder, I decided in today's video I'll just kind of give it a try because it's just like sitting in my drawer. So I just switched over to a beauty blender just to apply the powder because I feel like with this little point on here and because the little tube is so small, it would allow me to apply the product a lot better. This powder is probably very, very brightening. So I'm gonna try my best not to use too much of this. So I'm just using my Micro Smooth powder just to set the rest of my face. Just kind of lightly run this over the perimeters because I just want to set everything down and make it all nice and matte. Even though the foundation, like I said, didn't give off too much of a glow, I still need to set my face because if not, things will not be pretty in a couple of hours. So we're going to revert to the eyes, and for eyeshadow I am going to use the Dose of Colors Sienna palette. Told you guys I was going to use this palette by itself. This is the add-on that I purchased from BoxyCharm, so I got it at a cheaper rate, 80% off the original price, and I'm really happy about that. So we're going to create a look today using almost all of these shadows. Hopefully we can use every single one of them, but we will see. So I think this palette goes from like lightest shade to darkest shade. So we're going to start with the lightest one, which is kind of like a peachy, wow, look at that pigment on that brush, peachy tone shade, and I'm going to tap this off a lot, and then I'm going to lightly put this in my crease. Oh yeah, definitely make sure if you have this palette that you're tapping off your brush because this pigment packs a punch, which I'm not entirely surprised about because I've used Dose of Colors shadows before. You guys know I'm like obsessed with the Desi Katie palette. This is just amazing. I really love the pigment. Now I'm going to take the second darkest shade, which is this one right here. These actually have names. So the first one I grabbed was Oh So Sassy. Now I'm going to grab Bossy. Tap it off. And then I'm going to place that on the outer corner first. And then blend upwards into my crease. Kind of like on top of that transition shade, just to deepen it a little bit more. Make it a little bit more orange. Because this definitely is like orange vibes right now. I'm going to blend all of this. I feel like these shadows are blending very nicely. They're not skipping or tugging or getting weird. It's just a nice pigmented transition and buildup of color. I think we're gonna skip over the middle shade for now and go to the second deepest shade in the palette, which is this one right here called Brassy. And I'm gonna pick that up on my JH40 brush. I think this brush is similar to the M507 if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the brush number. I'll have it in the description, but this brush is really good for like detailed work. So I just want to put this on my outer corner and underneath that transition shade. And I'm also going to take it in my inner corner. Kind of get like that halo effect. Actually, you know what? We just going to take this all over the lid. I have no idea what I'm doing with this look, to be honest. So basically, I'm just putting this shadow all over my entire lid space. So if you really wanted to, you can use a packer brush or a shader brush to do this. But since I already started using this brush, I'm just going to finish using it because it does pretty much the same thing. Just applying it all over your lid, but I'm also kind of blending it underneath that transition shade as well. That way it just all looks nice. Okay, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But I'm going to take the darkest shade in the palette, which is this one. Wait, did I get the shade names wrong? So I'm going to take Stay Sassy. This is Oh So Sassy, and this one's Stay Sassy. So I'm going to take this one, which is a very deep brown from what it looks like in the pan. And I'm going to take that on the JH40, and I'm going to put this in the outer corner. So this right here is definitely going to deepen up this look. And I'm just going to focus this only on the outer third of my eye. It's not that it's not pigmented, because it is, but I love the fact and can appreciate the fact that it's like over pigmented to where like when you put it on, it's not too much. Like you can definitely work with this shadow and blend it and build it up to where you need it to be instead of it being super intense like the rest of the shadows. So I'm not mad about that at all. As you guys can see, that color definitely changed the vibe of this whole look. Deepened it up just a little bit, and you know, it's not shocking, it's not a revelation or anything, because typically when you go in with a darker shade, especially on the outer edge of your eye, it's definitely going to change the look. But I feel like it changed it for the better. For me, I feel like fall requires dark vampy looks. Like if it's too bright, then it might be considered too springish or too summery. I really love the darker eye looks for the fall time. You could definitely stop here if you would like, but I am gonna try the middle shade, which is Foxy, this one right here, and I'm gonna put that on the inner part of my lid to see if it'll brighten that up just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't make it dark. And I'm just gonna pack this on with my JH41 brush, and I'm also kind of doing like that half cut crease formation when applying it to my lid. Now I'm going to go down to my lower lash line, and I'm going to grab the dark brown shade, which again is Stay Sassy. And on this flat definer brush, this is an M432, and I'm just going to press this closest to my waterline. Then I'm going to grab this shade right here, which is Bossy, and I'm going to use this shade to just smoke that out and just kind of blend it out underneath there. And then I think I want to take a little bit of that transition shade that we use that to just bring it down a little bit lower. I am gonna apply lashes off camera as well as determine whether or not I want to do a wing liner. I really love the look as it is. I feel like wing liner can either make or break a look. So I'll make that decision when I come back if I do wing liner. Of course, I'll let you guys know what I use. So lashes are on. Now we're gonna move on to bronzer. I'm going to be using this Physicians Formula bronzer right here. I saw this in store and I was intrigued. I know everybody raves about the butter bronzer, which I do have, but I wanted to give this one a shot. This is their organic wear bronzer, so we're gonna dip into this and see if it suits us. Honestly, the pigment on the brush isn't really coming off, so this might be a fail. Let's see. It's not really pulling up as anything on my skin, honestly. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. So much for that bronzer. Okay, let me grab another one. Since that bronzer wasn't showing up, I'm gonna use the ABH bronzer in Saddle. This one's definitely pigmented. For blush, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Color Iconic blush right here, and this one is in Keep It Peachy. You guys know I love me a peach tone blush, and since I thought this palette was more on the peachy side, I figured I'd use a peachy blush. Blush is definitely very pigmented. I really love the shade of orange that it is. Definitely gives peachy vibes. For highlighter, I picked up this NARS highlighter in Ibiza, however you say it, but it's a nice pretty golden highlight. So this is what we're going to use today. And before I put on highlight, I do want to spray my face down really quickly. So I'm going to use the Prep and Prime from MAC. I think this is like a really pretty golden champagne-y kind of highlight. As I always do, I'm just going to use that same highlight and highlight my brow bone as well as my inner corner, just to kind of give it all one unison look. The glow is there. It's just not as vibrant as the rest of the face, but I really do really like it in the inner corner, and it just brings some brightness to the eyes since they seem so dark. Now for the lip, I am going to line my lips with the Makeup Forever Artist's Color Pencil in Wherever Walnut. And I am gonna go on top of it with this Buxom gloss and taupe it off. Could just leave it like this, but it's a little too pink for what I like or want with this, so I'm gonna take a little bit of Sweet Tooth, just taking some translucent powder, and then we can finish out strong with the setting spray. I'm gonna use the Morpheus Continuous Setting Mist. Okay beauties, so this is the finished and final look. This is the final product. Oh my gosh, I am, first of all, you guys should already know, I'm loving the Born This Way foundation from NYX. Like, this is definitely going to be my go-to from now on. I really love it, you guys. Even after like applying a full face of makeup, having everything on and put together, I really feel like this foundation right here is gonna be something special. But the fact that it makes my skin look so good, so great, so natural, I absolutely love it. So I would definitely continue to use this. As far as the palette goes, I am not hating the palette. I do love the palette. Now, do I feel like I love it as much as I love the Desi Katie one? No, not really, but I will definitely gravitate towards this one a whole lot more than I will the cool tone one that I did use in my BoxyCharm video. So I do love the array of shades, and I love the fact that they added this darker brown down here at the end to create some kind of depth within the look if that's what you wanted to do. The Physicians Formula bronzer, I was honestly very hyped to try, but I'm so sad because, as you guys saw, no pigment on my skin, no pigment on my brush. It was just not, it wasn't working. And you know, now that I swatch it with my finger, barely anything is coming up. So I don't know if my skin tone is just a little too dark for this or what, but it don't work. I love the NARS highlighter. This is a new purchase for me, and I really do love it. I see myself pulling this out and using it a lot. You guys know I really love me a golden champagne type of highlight, so I will continue to use this. Even though it doesn't pop as much in my inner corner as it does the rest of my face, I still love the highlighter, and again, I will continue to use it. And for the last and final product that we used that was actually new in today's video, the Vava Plump Taupe It Off Liquid Lip from Buxom. I do really love this gloss. Now I did, as you guys seen, apply like a light layer of translucent powder just to mattify my lip a little more, because I'm more of a matte lip kind of girl. But I definitely love the color, even though I had to top it with the L'Oreal Infallible Sweet Tooth liquid lip as a situation, just to make it a little bit more neutral and a little less pink, because I feel like a pink lip with this eye look just wasn't the perfect combination. But I do love the two together, so this is a lip combo that I will be wearing more often because I definitely do enjoy it. Overall, I feel like the makeup look came out super beautiful. Everything came together so nicely, and I really do love the look overall. Of course, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below, as always. And with that being said, I don't have anything else to say other than I love you guys so much. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys super soon in the next video or vlog, whichever one comes first.